Spiky Bits.
Hey guys, MBG here again today with a look at the new Imperial Knights Codex. Now this is, of course, is the rules for the actual Imperial Knight Titan that came out last week from Games Workshop. And, you know, there's been a lot of rumors on the internet about what would and wouldn't be in here. And, you know, I have to admit, you know, a little bit of what people expected out of this book was a little far-fetched. And honestly, I think it's right in the middle. And I think it's almost just right for what this thing can do. And it's pretty neat. It's got its own allies chart. It's got, you know, some warlord traits and things like that, and a little alternate chart you can roll on. And it's very characterful, and I like it. I like it. I think it's a good switch. I like the nice little splashiness of it. You know, I just kind of like every little aspect to it. So we're gonna kind of take a look at it. It's a 64-page book. It retails for $41 US. It's made by the GW Design Studio, which, interesting, they keep coming up with this, not assigning a particular author to it, but they say like the GW Design Studio. And I'm wondering, you know, some people on the internet say, of course, that it's because of the whole like everybody hates Matt Ward thing or something like that. And you know, I don't know if that's true, but it's it makes me chuckle if they're actually like not doing that because of internet hate, because we all know how that is. Anyways, so produced by the Games Workshop Design Studio. It's got a bunch of different sections here. It's very, very fluffy. It's a very fluffy book. There's about 6 pages of rules, give or take, of actual like rules that you can use in game. There's a whole bunch of like fluff background, you know, a showcase of painted miniatures. Then you got all sorts of the heraldry of all the different knight houses, and it ties in with a lot of the previous books and things like that out there. And there's a lot of familiar overtones and things like that here. A couple of revisions. I think House Daenerys, I think their colors were different than what they are in here. I haven't looked it up yet, but I have a sneaky suspicion they changed the coloring on that. But I'm not 100% for sure yet. Then there's a bunch of symbolism, things like that. A map of all the knight houses. The galaxy-wide map. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool book. I definitely think it's worth picking up, just on the sheer fluff value alone, where they basically come up with a lot of things. And there's a lot of cool new art in here as well, of some like, you know, in battle things. So of course some spectacular artwork there. Then we're gonna flip to the first major section. Let's see. So they go over like a whole bunch of the different houses and all sorts of things about them, their different you know, rivalry and things like that. Then we pop into all the different actual paint jobs on them, and kind of close-in looks and lots of different views and alternate art and detail showcases and things like that there. In the back is the actual rules themselves, which they call the Knightly Host. Now this is the condensed version of basically the Apocalypse rules, which they added a few different things, just in case you don't have an Apocalyptic Blast template. They kind of give you the measurements for the different rings and the different explosion rungs. Because remember, when this thing blows up, the inside 5-inch template right off the bat is D-weapon, and then it scatters out. You know, it scatters, and then the different rings are different strengths and APs from there. Also, another thing to remember is that, you know, when you're taking damage, it's just hull points until it actually explodes. There's no immobilize, there's no crew stun, there's no weapon destroyed, things like that. It's just straight hull points until it goes, I'm good, oh my god, I'm blowing up. And that's what Apocalypse is now too, because it's just it's crazy to have like wrecks and things littered all over the tabletop. You know, you just can't remember all those things when you're playing Apocalypse. Like, oh, this dreadnought here is shaking, and this tank over here has its weapon blown off, and like, what is going on? Let's just, you know, let's just play. And things like that. So it's good to see that reflected. And then they show some specific examples. I think in the escalation book, this is a stompa. Of course, in this book, it's the knight itself. So the stomp table, very important thing to remember. I guess the jury's still out on the actual wording of the strike down. There's a few weird rules interpretations too that have come up in a couple of games I've played in, like Barrage. Which side does it affect? Because, you know, if your shield's up on one side, and because all it says is barrage affects side armor, which side armor? Because you have to set your shield to one particular side. So that's very interesting too. Also, you don't get your shield if you come in from reserves as well. just like if somebody tries to intercept you. So just a couple of interesting things. Then it goes into, it's got its own allies matrix, which a lot of people theorized about. And then there's the actual warlord traits table and things like that. So that's pretty much the book. I know I went through it quick. Make it so definitely don't take that to mean there's not a lot in here. This is probably by far the best supplemental codex they've come out with. You know, the Farsight book, full of fluff, 2 pages of rules. You know, the INN book, full of fluff, maybe a page of rules. I don't remember. It was a page or two. I was so mad after I read it. And you know, it for what it was really good. But for, you know, the competitive scene, it was not good. This is a pretty good balance of both. It's got some really good rules. It's got some really good fluff. It's got some really nice pictures. It's a really good read, and I definitely recommend picking it up. Now, I guess we'll see what's happening with the new Chaos miniatures here coming out, I guess, next week. The sun never stops on Warhammer 40k here as of 2014, I guess, guys. So that's it for this one. Stay in the trenches. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check out the blog, SpikeyBitsblog.com, and listen to our podcast, ForgeTheNarrative.com.
Spiky Bits.